Morning. Upstairs neighbour's cats. Well, my life just seems to go up and down like a roller coaster. You gotta rock. What's been going on then? Well, let me see. Massive text message row with my younger brother, who's basically accused me of stealing from my early stage dementia mother. Stealing from a widow who's your own mother. He's accused me of one of the lowest actions. Just goes to show what he thinks of me. I'm looking into getting some free legal advice. I've had a lot of suggestions from people that I should be looking into it. Hopefully the fact that he's so busy will mean he will not take action first and I can take my time because I have other things to sort through. Fingers crossed, touch wood, he was just running his mouth off. Prat. Apparently he took being called conventional as a compliment. That is the fulcrum on the balance, possibly, or no. That is the brick wall between myself and my brother. He is so conventional that myself being very unconventional, never the twain shall meet. Chalk and cheese, as my mother herself says. Because she may have early stage senile dementia and anxiety, but there is a brain. And I'm afraid I do have to consider that she's telling me one thing and him another as well. It's possible. She got used to playing people in the household off each other because it was a household with 3 men. She denies she did it, but she denies everything. But with her, the denials of some things that happened in the past, she's protecting herself, not from responsibility, but from harm. So yeah, that was fun. Basically, he, about 3 messages back in this rant he was going on, I was yelling insults, I was texting insults back too. Pathetic little shit being the first one. It all started over some source books for an old role-play game system. I found the main book for free out on my adventures. And I mean, actually there for free. I didn't steal it. Angers me. But I didn't rise to the bait. He did. And I'd asked him, because he's got some stuff at mum's, this is stuff that he would probably, had it not come up, have just left there forever. He does this. Source books for this game system. I asked if I could borrow them because I'd found a copy of the, the base book. To which his reply, after initially about a week or so ago saying I could look through that stuff, thus implying it may have been okay for me to ask, things change, I know. Whereas you better not have taken them, they're mine. And I thought, and I turned around and basically pointed out that the original Dungeons and Dragons basic player's guide was mine because it's got my name on the back, you pathetic little shit. And I must admit, I triggered him, but I'm fed up with his obnoxious, selfish, uncommunicative, prattish behaviour. He thinks he's protecting her, apparently. Well, currently, as far as I'm concerned, he's protecting her from seeing me. I will refuse to engage unless my mother specifically texts me or calls me and asks why I'm not there. I shan't go. That would normally be today, but we've got onto the good stuff. We're in the middle of painting the new studio and crafting premises for Chip Ipswich Community Hub. I'm doing the grunt work with them, you know, the white emulsion and the rollers. There are a lot of good people chipping in. Lol. And well, most of them are quite eclectic and artists. I mean, I'm a woodcrafter, and I do various other things as well. But you give me a roller and some paintbrushes and some white emulsion and a good old wall, and I'm just going into trance painting mode and just get on with it. And it's really therapeutic, I find. Really enjoying being active and practical for a good cause. I don't care that I'm not getting paid for it. That doesn't matter a shit to me. And kind of, I did. There's a house in the area that's being gutted and rebuilt, you know, to code, because it's a very old listed building. I think it's 1600s. Or at least she's working slightly better again. I had a chat with the workers because there's a huge pile of rubbish out back. I thought, yeah, it was all through. And the first thing I saw poking out the rubbish was a rather nice looking aquarium ornament about yay tall by yay wide of a ruined Grecian style temple. So I had that. Then I spotted, I think it's oak, possibly walnut. Curved antique cupboard door of some description. Roughly about 5 foot, 7 or 8, so probably just below my head height. And about as wide as my body, curved, with a handle on the back. Rather like, it looks almost exactly like a pavise, which was used by medieval crossbowmen and archers to hide behind while they reloaded. Although with some work with a jigsaw, possibly. I've got a small one, I don't know whether it'll cut through it, but when I get it back here, I shall experiment. where was I? I completely lost the thread. Sorry, I was thinking about the project. You cut it a certain way, and you will have what looks like a Norman kite shield. Okay, you'd have to make a hole in the center for the boss, but that is doable. I could mark it out and use a drill if my jigsaw isn't up to it. That would be another solution. It would be a lengthy process and it would take some time simply because I'm only working with a battery operator. I do have one. I do have another drill that isn't battery operated, and I even have a hand drill if need be. So yeah, tool time. Tool time. We'll bring the light in there. This little thing is an antique hand drill. Qualcast clipper made in England. Back when this country actually manufactured things, Beautiful old thing. Probably very old, but very hard wearing and still works. So, I could even use a manual if I wish. So, yeah. Is that better? Yeah, I think so. So, yeah, got a lot going on. I've been seeking free legal advice through, conventional channels, and I'm just not getting anywhere. Citizens' advice don't answer their phone. Every other path seems to be a mislead or a con job. Just covering my arse. Essentially, as long as I can keep myself looking like the bad guy, good guy. I look like a bad guy, but I want to present myself as a good guy, if that makes any sense. I need to continue to trap him and make him look like the aggressor. So if he does try anything nasty legally in future, I'll have records of his behaviour towards me. I can't help thinking a certain grasping partner of his may be sticking her oar in here. But I don't know that because we hardly ever speak and haven't in years. 3 years ago during COVID, he, just after COVID, I think, I was going through a very bad phase and he couldn't handle it, and he ended up basically, and it was a Sunday morning and I was drinking, calling me a drunken prat over the phone. And that blew up our first total lack of communication for quite a long time, until my father died, actually, a couple of years. But as I said to him the last time we kind of spoke sensibly, the business that he was going through with a previous partner, it's only his second one since his divorce. He even admitted himself he doesn't pick them very well. I've been guilty of that up until about nearly 20 years ago, when I definitely picked a good one. So yeah. That was at the time he was dating a woman who suffered from very chronic alcoholism, who'd get shit-faced on a Sunday morning like I was, which is probably why he reacted the way he did. He wouldn't admit to it. Brandon doesn't admit to having any feelings. well, rarely. He's very defensive and protective, and he hides behind that wall of convention and structure. It's the only thing that makes any sense to him. So the way I do things, it frightens him almost. I wouldn't say that to him. I'd use a different word, obviously, because that would just get his back right up. But at the moment, I'm still at the stage where I want to get his back up. I want him to embarrass himself. It's possibly the only way he'll learn. Humiliation often has a positive effect. It's why in medieval times they had the stocks as punishment for minor crimes. The Norse had something similar, the run of shame, basically, where you'd have to run between all the members of your village, and they'd pelt you with small rocks and shit and rotten vegetables and stuff. It marks you out as scorned and humiliated. Works for some, and for others it doesn't work, and that is the problem with the criminal justice system. The fact is, one size doesn't fit all. Like with many things involving bureaucracy, whether it be benefit payments, educational courses. But at the end of the day, in order to make courses more suitable for everyone, there'd have to be funding, and we all know that's not coming anytime soon. It's in the UK here. We have this situation. I don't know what it's like in America, where the majority of which seems to be the majority of where my non-UK viewers come from. So hi. We have this situation where basically people constantly moan about public services, which gradually over the past 40 years have all been privatised. They were public run. So people constantly moan about public services, be it the buses, the trains, water, electricity, all run by private companies in the UK now. It's not quite as bad as I hear things are in America. I don't know whether any of you would like to comment on that. Please feel free to discuss. I'll repeat myself again. Get back to the point, Howard. Oh, that was offensive. I do apologise. I won't edit that out, but do I understand that that could be considered very offensive? It's the kind of thing we did when I was a kid. Still am a big kid. Anyway, tangent. Get to the point. What was the point? Sometimes my brain is just, all over the place. Yeah, they constantly moan it, yeah. Right, third or fourth time, ready? Constantly moan about public services, but they don't want to pay the tax to actually fund them, unlike in Scandinavian countries. So we're stuck in this loop of people moaning and then not paying for it, moaning and not paying for it, and things get worse. People are so close-minded and don't think outside their own little box. And I think this is the problem between me and Brandon. I don't know. But, as my mother also says, it is what it is. And in this case, I do actually think she is right. She says it about politics and the state of the world, and I think she's wrong there. But about Brandon, yes, I think she's right. Unfortunately, the only family I have left, as far as I'm concerned, I have my dad's youngest brother, who sometimes, well, he's wary of me for obvious reasons. I have been a bit of a loose cannon over the years, but we get on. Nick was an influence in my early years. Lord of the Rings, computer games, that kind of thing, that all came from him. What else? My Uncle Alan, who's my mum's sister's son, complicated family business. He's the executor of the will. He's in the dubious department because Alan is seemingly very conventional as well. It's fair enough. It is what it is. Thanks, Mum. There's daughter of my father's brother who committed suicide, who's been very reticent to talk of late, so I won't bother her. She lives in Northamptonshire or somewhere anyway, so we have talked occasionally, but this is nothing to bother her about. It's none of their business. So yeah, and then there's my brother, who, as far as I'm concerned, I really do not want to speak to. Possibly forever. There's no point to trying to build a relationship that's broken beyond repair. And my mother, bless her, who I'm pretty sure plays games. It's a survival tactic. She was in a household with 3 testosterone-filled men, and you're going to defend yourself by playing them off against each other. This is one of the problems, I think, because he gets very angry with her. I've learned most of the time not to do that, although I do get frustrated. But he gets full on angry. And she defends herself by taking his side. I think this is mere speculation. But anyway, we're up to nearly 25 minutes, so I shall leave it there. Okay? Take care, peeps.